think one of the main things was that it's so independent. There's a lot of support, but there's no one, you know, you need to know that you've got to settle in and, you know, you need to get things started as soon as possible, or else you're just going to feel like you're falling behind.
I've already done a degree a few years back, so I'm actually a mature student, and I've been working for 3 years, so the main difference is I don't have to be in at 9 o'clock in the morning every day.
I think my first month in Sheffield I was still in a bit of a culture shock because we're so used to doing things differently back in India. And the first major culture shock that I had to overcome was addressing my teachers with their first names, which was very difficult.
The academic level, definitely. It's a lot more studious than you think it's going to be.
Mainly just the amount of work you have to do. It's a lot different to like A levels and GCSEs. So it's just you've got to adapt to the different environment really.
It's, I think, totally different as compared to college and school, and you have to do a lot of research and you have to do yourself. It's like an individual, you know, self-study.
Yeah, how much more laid back the teachers are. Like, they give you more options of how to plan your work and how to do your work, whereas it like college it was do it this way, do it that way.
It's so new to me considering in India it's a classroom where the teacher dictates everything, most of the things, but here you're given a canvas and you're asked to paint, and that's one of the wonderful things about coming here to uni at Sheffield.
I think it's the freedom you get. You get to choose where you do your work, when you do your work, who you see, what time you go see, and you get to meet a wide variety of people that are all in the same boat, so it's quite exciting.
It was, well, I moved from Manchester, so it's a completely new city for me. I met loads of new friends, I didn't know anyone here, and it throws you in at the deep end, and it taught me how to be independent, so yeah. Really good.
One of the big things we see students engaging with is all the social activities. It's a really good way of making friends, getting to know your cohort, but also getting to know the environment as well.
People come to university to learn. So the idea is that you direct yourself when you're doing your learning.
Self-direct, yes. Loads of self-directed study.
Yeah, independent study is key when you're at university, to look beyond what happens in lectures and in tutorials, and that's why there's lots of places for you to come and work, do your independent study throughout the university, in the libraries and other study spaces throughout the university. And there's lots of information online and things that you can do. So, and of course you can do independent study at home, but it is important to go away and do loads of extra stuff on top of what you get in your lectures.
In my first year it was really difficult. They don't tell you to look for things. You kind of have to be independent and look for things yourself, especially with mandatory training as a nurse. You've got to make sure you're all up to date with it, because no one's going to email you and let you know unless it's right at the very end.
It's about really realising that so much of your learning is not what happens in your lectures and your seminars. They're just the kind of starting point, but beyond that it's about using the library resources, it's doing online research, it's about getting your notes together and kind of making sure that you've got a really good plan. So it's all the stuff that you do outside of your lectures and seminars.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't have a lot of pride and don't suffer alone. And another top tip is be organised a lot.
Be organised, be prepared, try and be prepared.
I would suggest spending some time doing the social bit, but you've really got to knuckle down and do the work in order to keep up with the amount of work that needs to be done, really.
You got to learn how to manage your time as you study, and that will help you a lot in terms of your assignment and then working as well.
Oh, be prepared, I think, is my top tip. Know where you need to be and also what you need to be doing at that point in time.
Don't be nervous, because everyone's in the same position.
Plan your finances carefully. Don't spend all your money in the pub. I would say to them to be, be prepared. They're gonna have a good, they'll enjoy themselves, and there's loads of support. You never feel. I felt like I wasn't gonna meet anyone, but you just end up having that support and that group of friends.
Just get involved with as much as you can, really. Like, go to the sports fair. There's tons of sports you can do. I think there literally is a sport for everyone and anything.
Try and, if you're stuck in anything, just make sure you ask questions, because everyone's there to support you.
I'd say don't be worried at all. It's a really good experience. It's great for meeting new people, for learning new things. Be really open-minded about it, because you learn a lot of different things.
That the staff here are so helpful, and the students around here are so helpful. They should just ask.
And try not to do like last minute. I know we all say that a lot of times, but I think it's very important to like stay on top of your work.
Make sure you give yourself time to study on the course, immerse yourself in the course, and give yourself a chance to achieve. So I'd say, allow yourself the time to do the reading, to have a good look around all the learning resources, to go into the learning centre, to access all online articles, and really give yourself a chance to spend time finding out about the course. Make some friends as well, because that'll help you when you're in class and outside of class as well, supporting each other with coursework and so on. So I think my top tip would be really get yourself immersed in the course and give yourself the time to enjoy it and achieve.
I'd say the main thing is don't panic. I was really concerned about starting being a mature student, worrying if I'd be the only mature student sat in the classroom amongst a load of young people going out on the nights out, but it's actually a really good mix, and I have formed a lot of friendships with the younger people as well.
I don't know, just relax and just sort of take it in. It's quite daunting when you're coming from maybe either a sixth form or a college. There's obviously so many people. So just sort of enjoy it. You don't have to there's a norm of going out. You don't have to go out, you can do what you want. Join societies, I recommend that. It's quite nice to meet people. So no, just sort of take it all in, and you don't have to be full throttle straight away going out and all that sort of thing, but just enjoy it.
Be prepared, because it's not going to be a very easy journey. It's not going to be where someone continuously guides you and tells you this is right and this is wrong. Be prepared to take the road in the middle, because life is not about right and wrong. There are maybes and there are it depends situations, and be open-minded. This place is beautiful. The people here are polite. Just make sure that whatever you do, put your heart into it, and make sure that you make this experience a memorable one. Don't regret anything, and most of all, be very, very polite, because this is a very polite country.
Make sure that when you first start, make sure that you take all the kind of leaflets and things that you're offered. Keep your emails. That's something I wished I'd done. And because what they'll tell you are things like the important places to go for help, like your faculty help desk, and where the libraries are, that kind of thing.
Just use your time well, and don't leave it too late, because that's when you get too stressed. And if you kind of do everything in more preparation with time to spare, then you'll be all right. Yeah.
Starting university is a really exciting time. It's a wonderful time where you can meet all sorts of different people and really challenge yourself and have a lot of fun.
Come over and be excited.
Sounds silly, but things like graduation, especially around like now, and there's loads of hand-ins and things like that. It's graduation and seeing everybody else being successful and what jobs you can actually get after your course. It just makes it a lot more worthwhile, which reminds you of the bigger picture of things.
Well, I must have been a bit of a nerd, because I quite like learning things. I wanted to gather knowledge and know all about all sorts of things.
I did really like the intellectual challenge, finding out new things and talking about them with people and getting to understand a wider topic.
Well, it was a while ago when I was at university, but I certainly enjoyed the discussion, I think. We did loads of really kind of technical, difficult stuff when I was at university, especially on my master's degree, and I think I really enjoyed the discussion, and we used to have the discussion afterwards in the pub as well, so I think that was one of the things I most enjoyed about it.